In our last video, I spoke about the masculine as an initiating force in male-female dynamics. And generally speaking, this isn't controversial. Most women do want an initiating force. A man who takes the lead. Someone willing to step forward, rather than wait to be directed. We've also talked about men as a providing force, and how true masculine containment requires a willingness to initiate, to act first. What we haven't explored as deeply is this. To be a true source of containment, you must be genuinely stable. If you want to use the metaphor of water and rock as we have before, then the rock cannot be cracked. There cannot be fractures that collapse under pressure. And that stability isn't symbolic. It shows up in how you live. Being uncracked doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being impervious to the weathering forces of life that would otherwise distort your judgment, your character, or your integrity. It means standing firm in the face of adversity. It means standing by the morals that made you a providing force to begin with. I've said before that masculinity requires doing what is necessary in a given moment. Sometimes that means opening emotionally. Sometimes it means restraining yourself emotionally. Men are often told to control their emotions, but that advice is often limited to softness or vulnerability. What we don't talk about nearly enough is emotional control in every other direction. Control in the face of temptation. Control when jealousy arises. Control when ego wants dominance. Control when resentment wants to steer behavior. That restraint is part of stability. When I look at leadership and initiative in modern relationships, I see two sides of the same misunderstanding. On one side, many women label male initiative as destructive, yet feel its absence deeply when it's missing. On the other side, many men want positions of leadership, but treat them like birthrights rather than responsibilities once they're given the chance. Both sides share the same error. They see leadership as an advantage, a reward, a superior position to obtain. And yes, in a corrupt and unbalanced world, leadership often does come with power, status, and privilege. But that is not what leadership actually is. Leadership is not something to celebrate like a prize. It's not something to covet, not something to lord over others. It is a duty. We congratulate people when they reach positions of leadership. We envy them. We admire their status. But the more appropriate reaction would be, I don't envy you, but I respect the weight that you're about to carry. Historically, the greatest leaders were not handed power lightly. They were shaped by trials, pain, humility, failure, responsibility. The worst leaders of the past were often the ones that were born into the role. Good leadership was forged, not granted. So to the men listening, let me say this plainly. If you seek positions of initiative, in your family, in your relationships, your communities, understand this. There is no reward system. You do not extend one hand to help while holding the other out for payment. You do what is necessary, regardless of recognition, return, or treatment. You are owed nothing. Your service is offered freely because it serves something greater than yourself. Leadership is not some guarantee that you get more, sit higher, or receive admiration. It means you are the first to absorb impact, the first to volunteer, the first to take responsibility, the first to apologize or tell the truth. The first to calm yourself and offer solutions instead of adding chaos. You do this not because you are rewarded, but because you chose leadership. Leadership is not always some glorious charge or visible victory. It is silent necessity. There is no such thing as being underappreciated in this role. There is only what's right and what's wrong. If this sounds difficult, that's because it is. That weight is the duty of real leadership. You are not seeking relief for yourself. Your efforts are meant to benefit those around you. And when the masculine truly does this, when the foundation is stable, unmoved, reliable, the feminine does not need to be coerced. She will move freely into the space that you've created. She will bring vitality, nourishment, and flow. Not because she is obligated, but because it feels safe to do so. You will remove from her life that which bogs her down, and she will usher into yours that which makes life worth living. I've been asked many times how we repair the breakdown between men and women. My answer is always the same. It starts with the masculine. Because it has to. Because it is the initiator. Not because it demands respect, but because it earns it. The masculine evaluates itself first, apologizes first, improves itself first. Because that is what a true initiating force does. It asks for nothing. It expects nothing. It simply does what's right because it's right. That is real leadership. And in order to stop the degradation of the dynamic between men and women, to start to create a world full of kings and queens, men must take that first step. If this resonated with you, I invite you to join me here for future videos as we continue to explore this dynamic. Until next time, ladies, gentlemen, be good to each other.